Hello everybody, welcome back to La Cerise, our beautiful French town and city skylines too. French inspired, that is. And by that I mean it's actually European inspired. we are back. Sorry it's been a little while. Today I'm doing a voiceover. I've been wanting to do more playthroughs where I like talk during it, but the audio got donked up. So here we are. Last episode I made this new neighborhood called La Bahia, the Bay in Spanish. And that was alright, but I want to take a break from that area and focus in on a new part of town. And I specifically want to address this cute little intersection of roads here, which I think would be a great place for a new neighborhood. So that is what I'm going to be focusing on today. I'm going to be zoning this out and trying to kind of connect these sort of, for now, distinct neighborhoods in the city and make it all mesh together just a little bit better. With that, we are going to get into some time lapse. So for this neighborhood, I am starting off with a plaza, and I think all great neighborhoods should be centered around some kind of park or green space, or I don't know, some kind of centerpiece. And I think having this little plaza will be really cute, and so I was really trying to get that to be as central as possible. And there is a little bit of weird terrain action on the side of the road, but that's okay. And so I am dragging out a couple more roads just to make things look a bit more complete in this area, but not expanding too far north because, well, A, we haven't bought the land yet there for a lot of it, and B, there's this crazy hill here which I don't really want to interfere with. I want to respect the topography, but I don't always do that, but this time I will. So there we go. In addition to this road layout, I also wanted to make this neighborhood really walkable, really permeable with each block. So I tried to create as many like little mini side streets as possible, little alleys within each block, and also creating grassy terraces and trees on the sides to really just make things a lot more walkable. Because, maybe people will want to park. Oh well. Parking is going to have to be sidelined because we want this place to be nice and we want this place to be walkable. And we don't have transit in this area yet, obviously, because, well, we haven't even developed here yet. But I do plan to make this a very transit-forward neighborhood. I mean, as well as this whole city, really. And so, of course, there's going to be a lot of mixed-use buildings, different kinds of zoning within the same block, and some paths in between to just make this even more easy to get around on foot. It's my 15-minute my 15-minute city agenda is to make this city walkable. And yeah, it's definitely happening. Paths everywhere. But that's good. People can walk easily to the office space down on the right. So that's going to be easy for them. And so yeah, and I slowly started zoning. For this neighborhood, I think it's fairly similar to the most recent neighborhood I did, in that I tried to I've been trying a lot lately to vary up the zoning within each block, whereas instead of having like all mixed use buildings in one block or all row homes in one block, I've been trying to really diversify. And so in a lot of these blocks I'll have like a mixed use on the corner, which I think is always best for the corner, because if you want to get to the shop, it's easier to get to. And also something with the mixed use assets in this game is that they kind of connect up to the road, like the surface. So that's nice. But then on that same block I'll have a medium density apartment, some row homes, and maybe even sometimes I'll put an office so I can allow people to get to a workplace pretty easily. And we unlocked the musician mansion, which is pretty nice. I don't know if I placed that down, but I do plan to sometime. And and you know, I definitely, I also with this neighborhood, I have a bit of density in the like center of it with the roundabout, the huge roundabout, but then I have it kind of gradually becoming less and less dense as we go westward. So you see it becomes row homes, and then it becomes some single family homes, which we can eventually work out. Then I realized I needed to place a school, so I did just that. Elementary school right in this little between area, so it could be accessible by both this new neighborhood and this previous neighborhood up north, which I had constructed in a previous episode, like maybe 2 episodes back. I forgot what it's called though. And finally connecting things up with some final bits of zoning. It definitely, it has to be said, it takes a lot longer when you zone like this. And the problem with that is if you don't save and it crashes, which may or may not have happened in the process of filming this episode, you have to do it all over again, which, is fine. But it was a practice in patience, in not giving up, perseverance, you could say. And I don't actively seek out those kinds of trials, but it was thrust upon me certainly by this game. So, oh well. But yeah, this time it did not crash, so thank God. And that's because I think I had autosave on. Well, no, it didn't. It's not that it didn't crash because I had autosave on, but I did have autosave on, and so if it was to crash, I would have been fine. But ironically, it didn't this time, so who cares? But anyways, I guess this is a lesson. Use autosave. Turn on autosave, especially if you're using mods, which I am. Which, you know what? I'll just get into that now. But I'm going to use them a lot more later. But I have a bunch of mods now in this build because of the Paradox mod store. Oh, so good. I have Move It, which you can see from the bottom right. I have Better Bulldozer. I have a bunch of others. Anarchy. Custom Tree Control. I have a bunch of them. And if you guys want a list, let me know and I'll send it. But, well, it's actually, I think, the exact same list that City Planner Plays uses for his cities. So, you can find it there. I'm sure if you watch this, you may watch that as well. He's kind of like that. That's what I watch. And now I'm getting into some landscaping and detailing, and boy, let me tell you, I went crazy this time. Because not only do I have more mods, but I just was in just a crazy detailing mood, and so I just went kind of absurdly crazy with the amount of bushes, trees, and lines that I placed of like, I was gonna say topography. Topiary is what I meant. Topiary trees and bushes and things like that. And yes, I definitely deployed Anarchy a lot of times, like with the tree in the roundabout, which I feel like you should just be allowed to do. Like, there's a roundabout with grass, let's put a tree in it. So that's one of my favorite uses of Anarchy, that I can just like put things where, well, I guess I was gonna say put things where I want them to be, but I guess that's kind of like the the name of the game for that specific mod. And here I went really crazy. I decided I wanted to make some kind of plaza, like a homemade one. So I started with dragging out the surface of the mixed-use building on the side here. And I think, I forgot what mob that is. Plop the Grobles, I think. And so that gave me access to drag out the surface and also add some benches. And also you can see I have these sort of like planter-like things at the bottom of the trees, but they're actually sandboxes. So, but they look like planters, so I figured I'd use that. And I added some food stalls and vendors, and I also was able to create this this pathway for pedestrians to go through, which I think is part of the mod extra networks and areas, I think. And so that allowed pedestrians to actually walk through. And yeah, and you know, the downside is I'm not going to be able to like zoom in and see pedestrians like hanging out in that plaza, but just having it just made me really happy, you know. It just made the city feel more like lived in and detailed. And I really wanted to make this like centerpiece roundabout just like a really nice area, and so that turned out really nice. And I also created this little park in this triangular lot because I figured any kind of property would look kind of strange there, at least with the zoning in this game. So I put a little playground for the kids to go to across from the elementary school, and realized that I have like 2 elementary schools really close to each other. But oh well, you know how this game is. You need like 1 million elementary schools to satisfy a population of, what are we at, like 40,000? Kind of crazy, but what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Ooh, in this part I did go even crazier on, in that I dragged out the surfaces from the school to make it look a bit more natural with the surrounding streets. And so I kind of connected that, and I also plopped some benches to make it look a bit less empty, and placed some more fake planters with the sandboxes. And I thought it looked really nice. I thought it made the place look a bit more whole. Oh yes, and there's me dragging out the greenery, adding some, and I tried to find like the exact like bushes slash trees that they put in there, but I wasn't able to like get the exact ones. But you know, it's not about perfection in this game, it's about just doing it. You can quote me on that too, you know. It's about just doing it. I think you could say that about a lot of things actually, and maybe you should. It's about just doing it. I mean, that's life, right? Now that I felt finally done with the amount of landscaping and detailing I'd done, I thought it was time I actually addressed the needs of the city, after just doing a little bit of districting, of course. And I haven't thought of a name for this district yet, so please let me know if you have any thoughts. If you have any comments, please comment them. But for now, it's going to be Primrose Acres. So yeah, then I realized that we had also this crazy tramway buildup, which I've experienced in a lot of cities I've built in this game, and I've realized it's that if you use the special kind of avenue that has a median, and you put a tramway on it, and you have like a stop in the median for the median for the tram, it like glitches out, and the tram will like get stuck or something. It's so weird. And it really sucks because I really love the median stops. I think they look so cool and it looks so walkable, but it just always gets stuck, and then there's this crazy traffic backup, and then it's like it's hell on earth. So the way to fix that I did is I upgraded those roads to normal, the same amount of lane road, but without the median, and they started working fine. And then I realized I had to deal with this garbage control issue, and I realized that my landfill actually was completely full, and so, which was crazy because I felt like it hadn't been that long since I created it. But you know, I guess, you know, this is like the 13th episode, and there's 40,000 people, so, and I guess we don't have an incinerator or anything either. So I decided to build another one in this kind of southeastern part of the map. Well, not really of the map, but of the city, really, because there's not really much going on here. The wind's going towards the mountains, and there's nothing really going on there in terms of this city. So I thought this would be a fair enough place to put it. And it's not huge because I kind of shoved it into the corner, but I wanted to make sure I was more prioritizing how it would look in the city, which I don't know if is the best way to approach this game, but I just didn't want it like interfering with the city as a whole. I didn't want it like super close or anything. So yeah. But with that, I think I had solved most of the big issues with the city. And so that is all for today. Thanks again for joining me, and I'm going to end things off with some cinematics. Enjoy.